You know Nebraska, right? Penance for wanting to go to Colorado? Aha! Yes, you have driven I-80. Yeah, if you have if you have never driven Interstate 80, and I can't imagine you getting here without doing it, but if you've never driven I-80, it's much like this. I'll do a little North Platte mime for you. Ready? It goes like this. It goes. So we have a poor Goodwater. He's got a Wegnet Trife, all right? That means she's got an onion in her bobbin. She's in a Whamley Fay, cheek with griled, pencilly opulated, and really regretting that tattoo. Yes, it started out a butterfly, but now it's more like a pterodactyl being killed by lightning bolts. It's kind of hard to tell what it is. It's going down in flames. It's like it's circling a drain. So we have a poor Goodwater, a Wegnet Trife, and this core couple given a louse right next door to a wuggly old itch. But this wuggly old itch has a thin grum, which means she's got a nice parting gatch. A vegetable batch. She's got some Christ knops. She's got lots of bean gravy vegetables that are iron holic acid and good for working women. So there. Now, the warp wife. The warp woman, she dens her space, wearing out her stindo, having these terrible tavings, until finally she can land it no stronger, and she habs her grusband. And she says, "Bisson lust her." Yeah, she kind of morphed into Jesse Ventura. Like, it's a conspiracy. She says, "Bisson luster, you better seal me a stallid. You're going to be keeping on the slouch for the rest of your life." Well, the whore husband, he knew that it was cessational injanity. But he was at the rend of his hope. Against his better judgment, he got down on his knees and he's. He went digging into that snarden, well, just as he started licking her penis. Good man. We have arrived at that part I warned you about. And there's more.
That's what she said.
Yeah, suckle your beat belts. Hatten down your badges and duct tape the children. I just find that to be an effective parenting tool. Oh, come on, a ceiling fan, a roll of duct tape, and a small child. Hours of entertainment. Yes. My girls are going to be astronauts.
That's my thinking.
Here we go.
Wait, how old?
Just as he started licking her penis, the ugly old itch comes horming out of her stouse, and she is mopping head. She's yeaming at the scrap of her tongues. She's yelling, "Who's peeking through my snatch?" I tell you, that'll give you a hatal fart attack right there. But so far I'm not seeing any portraits or titch marks. Sound the all clear. We're moving on. Now the whore husband, he knobs to his drees. He's doubling in the girt. He's yelling, "No, no, don't nern me into a toot." Okay, you stand around and nern me into a toot. We're talking crimey little sleecher about this long. Like a malisander. Right, crawls on the ground, leaving a trimy slail. And if you pinch its putt, its fail falls off. Yeah, and that weeps giggling. And then it blows grack. And then it tries to sell you insurance. Yeah, kind of like that. No, no, don't turn me into a toot. All right, says the ugly old itch. You drop your stavling, and I shall take titty on you. I missed that one in the editing process. She says, "I shall not nern you into a toot if you give me your churst foreign bild." Now this is some barred bargaining here. No, really, this is going to be his bugly little snavy. Not like a bean-age tart if you take your Peggy Vance and rid the hode, Mr. Man. This is going to be his bugly little snavy, but that whore husband, he was shared skitless. Somebody tell me I said that right.
You did.
Good. He started stinking. He realized he was going to be keeping on the slouch for the rest of his life. He wanted to be a boomin' hing. He says, fine, bake the tabby. Oh, that's going to go over big at home. But he hoes go. In a double of K's, their bile is chorn. He and his war pipe are buggling their snavy when the wuggly old ditch lops up in that ribbing poom, babs that gravy, and pissadeers. Now we hump a jet. Yunty beers go twy. The biddle lady was a giddle lurl. The wuggly old ditch has named her Perunzel. Yeah, Perunzel. Probably because Moonbeam and Rainbow had been taken. All right, let me ask you folks a question. Are we all experienced festival goers? Kind of, sort of?
Yeah.
All right, so you've had a chance to linger a while, go in the shops, and get to know, for lack of a better term, us.
All right.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that a few of my colleagues have been hit a little hard with the druid stick?
All right.
All right, this is a true story. This really happened. Several years ago, actually coming up on 40 years ago, at this very Renaissance Festival, I was, okay, we were closed at the time. The day was done, audience was all gone, sun was going down on Renaissance land. The participants, they were out in the parking lot trying to start their cars by chanting and waving crystals. Om. Well, I drive a Taurus, but my ignition system is a Sagittarius. You can imagine the conflict.
I got you, brother.
You think I'm kidding.
Oh, fuck.
Hey, do you need a jump? No, I've got an amethyst. All right, so, I heard screamed, and I mean screamed, across an empty Renaissance Festival, echoing off the buildings. I heard this: Serenity, Serenity, you're really pissing me off. Now, I was confused. I thought, oh no, a meditation has gone bad. Quick, call the emergency guru. No, that turned out to be the sound of a mom yelling at her child.
Oh, shit.
Now, of course, you can name your kid whatever you want, but naming your child Serenity will not stop you from having a 2-year-old. And not to frighten you parents or anything, but my girls are now 20 and 22. Serenity has yet to visit our house. Now, a few years after that particular incident, I heard a kid with a great name. He was about, maybe a year and a half old, still in diapers, and doing that toddler run that's mostly bouncing. Right? Well, this little guy went running by me, and his mom, being a good mom, was in hot pursuit. She was running after him, and she was yelling, "Chase! Chase! Come back here, Chase!" Well, of course, I thought that was worth repeating. So I put it in my show.
Yeah.
And started telling other audiences almost immediately. Well, a couple of months go by, and I end up here. Right? And I'm doing this show right here, this very stage, and I tell that story. 2 little boys, right about where you are, pop out of their seats and gasp. And I thought, oh, I have struck a nerve. This can only be good. Those 2 little boys turned out to be brothers, and they were named Chase and Chance.
Wow.
Yeah, the next one was going to be named Oops. Oh, but wait, there's more. Just a couple of years ago, I was in a grocery store, and I heard this: Pandora, pick up that box.
What?
Yeah, I know, and she picked it up. It's going to end badly. But it doesn't end there. Now, when my younger daughter, the 20-year-old, was in middle school, we did an online school. I would ask normally, are you familiar with online schooling? But I know that's a yes now. All right, so she was involved in an online school, and the online school decided to throw an offline ice cream social. So we went to an ice cream parlor with a bunch of other online school kids, and we met. her fellow students. We met some teachers, we met some very nice parents, and we're having a great time. And the evening is just about to wrap up when one more family comes walking in. And it's a mom and 3 little boys. And within seconds, my daughter, my great enabling daughter, is tugging at me. Dad, Dad, hey Dad, see those 3 little boys over there? Yeah, they're named Epic, Legend, and Inspire.
Oh. Gary!
Yeah, no pressure there. I didn't smell any patchouli when they walked in the door. Around here, we refer to that as Ode to Old Hippie. We had to leave rather quickly, though, because you can actually hurt yourself rolling your eyes. All right, one more, and this one is ripped right out of the tabloids, and I'll apologize now for this one because you're going to have to think like I do. And that means you're going to have to think in spoonerisms. You don't have to join my lefty pinko communist conspiracy. But if you want to, I'll put you on the mailing list. I mean, what's a conspiracy without a mailing list? I keep trying to join Antifa, but I can't find the clubhouse. So, out there in Celebrity Universe, I think it's 16 years ago, there was a birth, a blessed event, to Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt. Last name Pitt. 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 Now that's an important point. Pitt. 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 Can you tell me what did they name their child? Anyone?
Olive.
Shiloh.
Oh.
Shiloh Pitt. Now think like I do.
She got it.
Pile of shit. Yeah, I like that.
What were these people thinking? Did they learn absolutely nothing from the career of poor Forrest Tucker? Give me a minute on that one, too. Did they wake up in the morning and say, oh, never fear, our child will never go to middle school? All right, so, people, when you're having children, you know ahead of time, yes? Yes. Good, there's one. Why is not the entire audience doing this?
It's just not like that, sir.
I mean, come on, folks, there are warning signs that are very readable. Even I know this. I've had kids. Well, okay, fine, my wife had the kids. What, I was involved? I was! Hey, I was right there holding the leg saying, honey, you ought to see this. Well, that probably should have remained unsaid. But we knew. What do you mean, ew? We knew 7.5, almost 8 months ahead of time, something's coming down the chute here. I should rephrase that one too, shouldn't I? But that means that everyone has enough time to do some negotiating, right? You get a little list together, a list of viable alternatives. Then you take your list, go out in your backyard, and shout names across the neighborhood. Like you're calling them home for dinner. First of all, it eliminates the ones you can't pronounce. And I know you're probably saying, why would I name my own child something that I cannot pronounce? I have no idea. But I swear, people around here, they name their kids with a Scrabble game. XQRZ. Ooh, look at all the points we get. Why, there goes little Apteryx now. Yeah, you should meet his sister, Pneumococcus. And if you test drive them first, it won't be you out in a public place yelling at your child. And I'm sorry, but if you think you'll never yell at your kid, try taking him to a Renaissance festival. Well, you could be yelling at your child and yelling things like, charity, charity, give that back. Patience, will you wait? Innocent, I know you did that. Uh-oh, where's Faith? Who is watching Faith? Faith, Faith, Faith. Great, we've lost Faith. And Hope went with her. Mercedes, slow down. Lance, will you quit poking your sister? Destiny, where do you think you're going? And my absolute favorite, Chastity, do not put that in your mouth.
Oh my God.
And now back to our regularly scheduled program. Anybody remember what it was?
No.
Anybody care what it was? No, I didn't think so. Well, tell you what, I'll continue on in Perunzel. Now, Perunzel, Yeti beers have gone twine. Perunzel is now a beautiful baby. Perunzel has been tocked up in a lower. That's like a ball tilting that has no whores. She dens her space, homing her care, which is blowing and lond, and minging celodies out of wingle sindo, kind of like Spitney Beers back in therapy.
Spitney Beers.
Until Dunway, in Prance of Ince, is out falloping through the forest. Falloping through... He's riding a horse in a very manly way. The Pransome Hints is out infecting his lather spans. Yeah, well, what we don't ask. He hears this beautiful binging. It's coming from that bald tilting, so he decides to bite in some hushes and why on the spindo. So there he is. He's leaking through the peeves. He'd been on that horse a long time. When he sees a wuggly old itch come flocking out of the forest. I know it's not really a story without a good falk in the forest. I certainly hope you've been falking in the forest without me. I mean, it has been 2 years after all. That's what state parks are for. Right? Yeah. I mean, you could falk in the forest all the way up to the top of Pikes Peak. I think the tree line gives out after a while.
That's where we go.
I mean, yeah, right. I'm from Minnesota. There, the whole northern half of the state is set aside just for falking in the forest. They sent church groups and Boy Scouts up there. Come on. Some of them bring canoes. Out on the East Coast, they've got the Appalachian Trail. That's all about falking in the forest. Ask the former governor of South Carolina. Yeah, he went for a falk in the forest and ended up in Argentina. I bet he blamed it on his GPS. So, the wuggly old itch comes falking out of the forest. She goes to the top of the bower. She looks up the window and she says, "Perunzel, Perunzel, het down your lair so I may stime that clothing gare." Well, nutty a woe, this Honglan Blair comes wanging out of the window. The wuggly old itch habs that grare, limes it like a clatter, walls in the crindo, and pissed ears. Well, this makes the Prance of Ince killy-rurious. He continues baiting in the wushes. He's a lovely guy, our prince. He sees the wuggly old itch, well out the crindo, I'm down the clare, and of course, go falking off into the forest. So he goes to the top of the bower. He looks up the window. He says, "Perunzel, Perunzel, let down your standards." Yeah, that never worked for me in high school. The Honglan Blair comes wanging out of the window. He habs the glare. He himes up the clare. He walls in the crindo. There is a beautiful baton. Oh, he says, "This is my ducky lay." Affleck. Now, you would think that Perunzel, never having seen a Prance of Ince before, would be memeing Strutty Blurter, or maybe even sapping him with a slaw lute for sexual harassment. But no, this is a Terry Fail. He is a Prictional Fitz. Yeah, aren't they all? They start to flay in pissy case right there. Right there at the bottom of the tilting, they're flopping swoods, but are they looking out the window? No. I mean, really, if you're going to be waking Whoopi with a weight instrument, you got to take a leak out your window once in a see if it's freezing. You better take a week out your pindo, because that wuggly old itchy putliest ears in the frindo wame. She is mopping hair. She grabs that grits. She walks him out the chindo. He brawls in some fushes, and he atches his scriballs. What? Well, really just cocked out his non-tax, but he was fine as a blat. He went thundering off into the forest, living on a diet of butts and nerries. Then she paps Garunzel, heaves her shed, and stuck her in the forest. And that's how I lost my job at Fuddruckers. She goes thundering through the forest, living on a diet of toots and rumors, and that's how it goes for yublickers. Butts and nerries, toots and rumors, butts and nerries, toots and rumors, butts and toots and butts and toots and butts and toots and butts and toots. I was just going to do that till you guys started laughing. Butts and toots and butts and toots and butts and toots. There we go. It's a dihybrid it's godly organic. But then, butts and toots and butts and toots. Then Dunway by Chucky Lance, Perunzel, and the Prance of Ince face meat to meat. Blowing the vegetarian diet. Perunzel is most soothed by the Prance of Ince's starry sake. She eyes on his cryballs, and her talty seers wheel his hoons. Okay, she counted his contacts, chucked to his cheeks, and oaked him in the eyeballs. Doink.
Oaked him in the...
His stipes restored. They took leap into each other's thighs. And then they hissed Kong and lard. And when their pips linily farted, they hounded his morse. Oh, both of them.
Wow.
And he hooker tone to peat his merits and see his pantsy phallus. Which was expensively decorated. Little bags and flannels. And there they hid, happily after ever.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, and now, of course, my favorite part of every show, the part where I grab my hat and ask for dough. Settle, huh? You have been a lovely poop of creeple. Now's your opportunity.